Okay, so we've had our chicken marinate overnight. Now what we want to do is drain the excess of the marinade. I'm gonna use my spider here. It's a little bigger hole than the colander that I have. So you want to do is with cold water, you want to rinse off a lot of the excess. Basically, the marinade's done its job. If you leave too much of the dressing on there, it's just going to burn on contact, make a mess of the frying pan. So, a good rinse. Dump off the excess. My nice clean sink. Okay. What you're left with is some. So what we'll do now is we're going to let the chicken come a little bit more towards room temperature. Let it sit maybe 10 minutes. Then we'll go on to the last step, which is cooking our chicken cheesesteak. Okay, so we're going to be using here one of my favorite tools, which is my electric skillet. I like using this because the temperature always is adjusting itself. You're not playing around with knobs. I also have on hand a squeeze bottle of just regular tap water. We're going to utilize a little steam in cooking this. It is chicken, it is thin, but it does help to expedite the process of cooking the inside, which is what we're always worried about. Alright, so here we go. We're taking try as best we can to get one layer down. All right. Now we're going to hit it with a little squeeze of water. Trick is to keep the chicken moving. I'm going to lid this for just a second, and we're going to switch over to our spatula. We're going to chop this up a little more as we cook it. We've probably talked about this before, but steam is a very powerful cooking tool. It does tend to cook the inside more than the outside. And again, we're talking about chicken, pork, things like that. I like to use a little bit of steam. A lot of times if I'm cooking, say, like breakfast sausage, unless you keep it on really low heat, the outside tends to cook a lot quicker than the inside. Well, if you add a little steam, it does tend to cook the inside first. All right, so lid off. And switch over to our spatula. We're going to chop this a bit as we go, just to get it down a little bit finer. Chicken's a little bit trickier to tell if it's done, but again, we slice this real thin. I had the heat on the thermostat on this set to 350, and again, because we're not using the burners, we're using an appliance with a thermostat, it is constantly trying to keep that 350 degree temperature going. That's why I like to use it. I have electric stove top, as you can probably see, and This way I'm not constantly messing with, when you cook with your regular stovetop, with the burners, when you get something to the temperature you want it, and then when you add the meat or whatever you might be adding to it, the temperature drops. There's just no way around that. So you got to mess around with the burners to get it to stay at a constant temperature. This way, I mean, it still takes a while to do it, but it's doing all the work for you. It's constantly searching for 350. So a traditional Philly cheesesteak served on torpedo roll, which we have ready cut, and usually it's a choice between, real traditionalists would be Cheez Whiz, yes, processed cheese, which is my favorite way of having it. The other way would be with provolone. What we're going to do here is we're hitting it with both. So I'm going to put a little Cheez Whiz on the roll, and I'm going to cover the chicken with not just provolone, but chopped provolone, which is maybe my favorite sandwich cheese in the whole world. Just about done. It's definitely done because if you remember how thin I cut this, the thinner you cut it, the quicker it's going to cook. If your knife skills aren't to that where you cut it real thin, then you have to cook it a little bit longer. Use a little bit more water, a little bit longer if you have to. Try a piece. Awesome. Our nice sharp provolone, lay it on top. Now, if I was a real Philadelphia cheesesteak master, I would just flip the roll over, put it right on there, but I'm not. There you have it, our Philly style chicken cheesesteak. Alright, I'm going to enjoy this lovely sandwich, and don't worry, I will probably eat the excess as well. I hope you like this recipe. It's easy, a little bit of prep, and a little bit of knowledge. I'm sure you can make this yourself. Just remember, cooking a sandwich like this is nothing difficult. You can do it if I can do it, no excuses.